Welcome friends in my YouTube channel. This video is going to talk about one of the important aspect in current situation which we are going through, and a lot of importance is given nowadays to indoor air quality. I come from HVAC background and I thought I will add some value on this topic. So today's video is dedicated to the HVAC fraternity, which is part of my group. I request you to subscribe my channel and spread it to many people. The topic of the video is HVAC best practices for improving indoor air quality. We call it IAQ, which is very important topic nowadays. So welcome once again. And as I said, indoor air quality has become a critical factor in today's context, where a lot of transmission of disease like COVID-19 and Omicron and a lot of things are happening through the air and through the surfaces. So indoor air quality has become a very important part of our life. So you can look at the auditorium in front of you. Indoor air quality in such auditorium which is full with all the seats becomes very important, because many people sit there, they transmit, they breathe, and that transmission can impact on entire population there. So how do we maintain the indoor air quality? That is going to be the topic. And what is the HVAC contribution into that, and what are the best practices is what we want to talk about. These are very basics, but we generally forget the basic and go on advanced systems. So I thought let us go back to basic and see what it is. It is very important nowadays. As I said, the CEOs, the facility managers, and the property owners, these are three important people who are now thinking of how do I maintain the indoor air quality in my company, in my facility, and in my property. And so these are three important people who are thinking about it, and there are solutions for the thing also. We have already seen what is the surface sanitization, how the things have changed in terms of sanitization. If one person finds positive, we get entire facility sanitized, and these are the surface sanitization techniques. A lot of things are available already. We already have people wearing masks. If there is no mask, there is no entry. That is kind of barrier which is coming in picture, so that people, when they breathe, they do not either spread or take something inside their body. These are some of the measures which are already there, and we have seen this picture now, which is very regular social distancing. People used to meet in a class together. Now we can see there is a distance between two students and multiple students. So this is the way of life which we have been seeing. The sanitization, the mask, social distancing, these three are what we call is COVID appropriate behaviors, right? Now now let us look at the HVAC aspect. You must have seen such facility with ducts getting the cold air into your space or ventilating your space. These are the ducts which transfers the air from the air handling units or a fan to your space. They again take it back either for exhaust or for recirculation. So this is very important aspect when it comes to indoor air quality. So what are the best long-term solutions which can be implemented to avoid spread of such pandemics again? You can see lockdowns. There are no people inside this office, and that has become a problem. So once people come back, what should be the long-term solution which will make sure that people who are sitting in this office will not have to go through the lockdown or pandemic things again? How can we prevent the spread of germs and diseases? And that is very important nowadays. Health has become an extremely important aspect in our life. So a lot of things are being done. A lot of innovations are being done for maintaining the indoor air quality. Indoor air quality earlier was nice to have. A couple of years back, it was nice to have. Now it is need to have. Things have changed dramatically from nice to have to need to have. Very important to note this. However, the basics of IAQ when it comes to the air conditioning, when it comes to the context of air conditioning, have not changed. These are the same. However, we must have not looked at it recently. When it comes to the indoor air quality, you can see the filter, the kind of filters, and how they get choked with such dust and particles. It's a regular phenomenon in our HVAC industry, right? You must have seen the ducts transmitting the air. You can see the air terminals, which is a diffuser, which is taking the air into the space. most of the time you can see the diffusers are getting dusty. There are a lot of particles on it. So these are all the indications of adding the problems in indoor air quality. Now, when it comes to HVAC, in the context of HVAC, these are 4 essential elements of indoor air quality. So first is ventilation, second is filtration, third is system inspection, and fourth is temperature control. These are the 4 basic essentials of indoor air quality when it comes to HVAC. Let us look at all these essential elements one by one. First is ventilation. What is the role of ventilation? It is to provide a proper amount of outside fresh air into the building space where we generally occupy the space and remove the equal amount of an old air back. So it creates a proper circulation of air within the building, and that is the role of ventilation. There are actually codes which are available for what is the ventilation rate which we need to consider. When it comes to ventilation, again, when we take the outside air, it has to go through filters, and you have seen the kind of filtration system which we should be providing. Otherwise, we'll have these filters always coming in. The second thing which also have impact on your inside spaces, if you don't have proper ventilation rates, you will have this kind of fungi and other things accumulation on your walls and in all your areas. So the role of ventilation is very, very important. So what do? We should have both mechanical ventilation and increased natural ventilation with the help of what is the minimum ventilation rate which is required by the codes will give you a better ventilation, and that will be able to give up a proper indoor air quality inside. So this is what is explained here, the mechanical ventilation plus the natural ventilation with the available codes which tells you what is the minimum requirement of ventilation will be able to give a proper ventilation inside your spaces. Let us look at another element of ERVs. When we supply the cool air inside, right, through a unit, when the exhaust air goes out, what we do is we take it through a heat exchanger, and it is taken outside as exhaust air. And when we bring the hot outside air, we go through the same heat exchanger, it becomes pre-cool, and the same air is supplied through the units to the inside spaces. Now the ventilation rates, as I said, are very, very important here. So this is the energy recovery system which we call, and we started implementing in most of our spaces. Next one is a filtration. Now filtration, as I said, has many stages of filtration. Now if you look at this unit, which is an air handling unit, which has got a pre-filter over here. This has got a fine filter and a HEPA filter. Now these applications may differ from applications to applications, right? So this is how the air comes in. It goes through the pre-filter, goes through the fan, then fine filter and HEPA filter, and then it is supplied to the area where it is required. So this is one of the picture of the filtration, and this is how the filtration happens. This is the unit which supplies the supply air, then the return air or the exhaust air comes out, it goes out of this unit outside. So it can be a centralized unit, it can be multiple units depending upon the area, spaces and design. Filter cleaning is an extremely important aspect in maintaining indoor air quality. Filter cleaning or replacement has to be done on periodic basis to avoid any impact on indoor air quality. There are some grades of filters, MERV 7, 9, 11, 13, and this is a table which will tell you what is the filtration level which we required for what kind of applications. So what is the MERV ranges, what is the particular capture size, and what are the type of application. So if you look at for residential building, it can be 1 to 4, 10 micron is the particular size, and it can be applicable for residential buildings. So there are various applications related to what type of filters which you use. This table will tell you all about that. Next one is the third element is system inspection, and this is very important because system inspection will tell you whether it is going right or is there any problem, so that you can take the actions of those problems within the time. If you delay that inspection, you will never come to the problems, and you will always get into a breakdown kind of situation. So system inspection is not only the filter cleaning or filter checkup. It has to check up the HVAC components. What are the components? There are various components involved in HVAC system. Air filter is one of the things. What are the cooling systems, whether they are proper or not, whether the pressures of refrigerants or the airs, whether specified are proper or not, whether the electrical connections are proper or not, whether the temperature and relative humidity is proper or not, what are the levels of refrigerants whether they are within the limit or not. What are the safety elements in our HVAC system? A lot of safety walls, safety controls are put in place, whether they are working or not. These are some of the aspects of the system inspection. Coils, whether the coils are in proper conditions or they are about to get leak, and overall system performance, whether the system design and system performance is same or is there a deviation. If there is deviation, what are the causes, and then we can take an action. So overall approach of system inspection is very, very important, and we have to have a proper checklist for looking at the system inspections. I have just narrated some of the components which has to go through system. The fourth important aspect is temperature. Now maintaining a temperature is extremely important, and right temperature, because temperature, both hot and cold, will have negative impact on our performance, on our productivity, and our concentration or focus. So hot and cold can have a different impact on our mind, and hence our productivity can be different. Temperature plays an important role in such areas. The temperature is extremely important. Otherwise, this can result into various formation of viruses, bacteria, and a lot of other things. So some of the pictures are in front of us. So when we maintain a temperature, how do we maintain a temperature? Whether we go for a thermostat like this, which is on the left hand side of your screen, or we have a building automation system which requires some investment, which will ensure that the proper temperature control is there, rather than physically measuring and monitoring. So this will give you a proper temperature control. So we scope of ventilation. Increased ventilation, both mechanical and natural, can help with the building code requirements. We can refer ASHRAE and ISHRAE standards or codes for it. Filtration, we have to have a proper replacement of strategy for filtration. Use of MERV 13 or MERV 11, depending upon the doability, is extremely important. What kind of system inspection we should do? It should not be only restricted to filters. System components have to go through inspection, and optimized temperature control to increase the productivity and performance of the people who are working inside a building space. So we should have a building which is with right indoor air quality, so that the performance can be boosted for, of the people who are working inside. HVAC system, as I said, plays an important role, and there are some of the photographs for that. These are some of the photographs for HVAC systems which are important. Please follow me on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. I hope if you liked the video and you got some content which are basic but important, I request you to give your comments and subscribe my channel and spread it amongst your friends. So thank you very much for your patience.